and welcome to Parks Unplugged. I'm your host, Shondon Bardell. I am here in the beautiful Boyce Park with Neil Meadows.
How's it going?
Hi, aka NaPoM, world famous beatboxer. This is gonna be, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this. I have so many questions for you, but can you just show us what you have? Can you just give us a song? I have so many questions. I'm sure everybody viewing has so many questions. Okay, can you tell me a little bit about your life and your journey to finding this talent inside of your mouth?
Yeah, I think it was definitely unique. I grew up in Slickville or Delmont, Pennsylvania, so not really a place with hip hop or that much culture in general. When I was like 15 or 14, I was surfing YouTube, and then I came across this dude that played the flute in beatbox, and I thought that was the coolest thing. So the first thing that I wanted to do, I took my sister's flute and I wanted to play the flute in beatbox, and I sucked at it really bad. But I figured out that I could actually beatbox. So after like beatboxing myself for a while, I started looking into more YouTube stuff, and then I found like the whole battle scene. There's like famous beatboxers from around the world, and that's what really got me into it. My first battle was in 2012, Youngstown, Ohio, and then I think after that, like after getting introduced to people doing it in person, it was kind of like meeting people that speak the same language in a way, because not many beatboxers around Pittsburgh.
No, it's actually something that you just don't even really hear about that often.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's very big worldwide.
Yeah.
Like in different countries, and I know you've traveled a lot and battled in different countries a lot. Tell me a little bit about that.
First time leaving the country for beatboxing was in 2015. I went to Berlin, Germany for the World Beatbox Championships, and that was like the first time that people like around the world heard me. And in that battle, I ended up getting second place, becoming the vice world champion, and the first like big thing that I did. So that really set me off to like do a bunch of other things. I got invited to judge certain battles. Like I've been to China, Japan, Korea, a bunch of European countries just to judge battles and sometimes compete, but a lot of the times it's to judge. And yeah, it's crazy. It's definitely an international thing. It's really big in a lot of other countries. Not that it's not like popular in America, because it started here in America in like the 80s whenever hip hop started. After like, there was a couple guys like Rozelle, Kenny Muhammad, Dougie Fresh. He's kind of like a household name. They did, they were performing, they're still performing now, and they were really big in like the 80s and 90s, but then it kind of died in America and it moved to Europe and Asia. And then they stopped doing hip hop music and started doing like crazy dance music. And then they took it and turned it into a battle scene. And that really started in like Europe, and I guess Asia kind of took over as well. In like 2013, 2014, up until then, like there wasn't really American beatboxers at all, like representing America in the world championships. Like you would watch the one American beatboxer there, and he was like so bad. It's kind of disappointing. So after like I met a bunch of other guys through these battles, other American beatboxers, and I ended up starting to work with these guys. We call ourselves the Beatbox House, and we pretty much like started again like the new fire of beatbox in America. And now there's tons of battles happening around the country again, and like a bunch of cool stuff.
Because it's like, when you walk around, you know, when you're in America and you're walking around the States, it's like not really, people aren't going to stop you on the side of the road. But if you are in like China or somewhere,
it's happened.
Yeah, people are like, oh my gosh, you're NaPoM, the crazy, awesome beatboxer.
Yeah.
So is beatboxing something you could learn, like a learned talent, or it's kind of, I feel like you have to have something special?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes like a musical sense, but to learn the sounds, I'd compare it to learning another language. Like, if you wanted to learn Chinese, you could learn Chinese, but it's hard to learn it like through just watching. Like, if you, what's it called? You just take like Rosetta Stone, a couple lessons with that. You'll learn Chinese, but like you're not going to actually learn about the culture and like why people speak to each other that way. I think beatboxing is the same way because it's your muscle memory, like you're speaking it. So to really like learn the rhythm and the muscle together, you got to dive into the culture, same way that you would for any other language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear another one.
Okay. The last thing I did, I kind of did a snippet of it, but I call this one 2 beats, 1 mouth.
Okay.
One mouth. Making usage of the useless. When the pimp's in the crib, huh? Drop it like it's hot.
So good. Can we dive into like technical a little bit?
Absolutely.
Okay, you're like a human drum kit
Yeah.
and you just produce all these different sounds through your voice box.
Yeah.
So can you just,
There's a couple different perspectives, like, for different beats. But a common theme that I do is, like, doing 2 layers of things at the same time. So you can hum 2 different ways. You can, like, hum with your mouth closed, and then if you open your mouth, it goes, or you can hum with, like, the back of your nose closed, so that whenever you move your mouth, it doesn't do anything. So whenever you're doing that, and there's other sounds you can make that way. So whenever you're doing that, you can make tons of sounds with your mouth that don't require you to breathe. Like, I'm not breathing for any of those, it's just pressure. So I do a lot of things where I do like 2 different layers, so it has more of a fuller sound, like. So that constant like kick drum, that's just my voice. Then you could start with like some simple hi-hats. That's one way I look at it. Another technique that I'm really known for is called a lip roll.
Okay.
And that's something that I kind of like made popular in the beatbox world. It's this sound that you do breathing in, and it's on the side of my mouth. It's the craziest looking sound. And on a microphone that has some like crazy bass to it. So
Right.
like if I would do that in a club or at a bar or something and go like, that actually like hits the subwoofer and it makes people go nuts.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because I watched a bunch of your battles, and it's so funny watching the crowd in the
it's
back.
crazy.
They like make these like dirty faces, like as if it's like nasty.
Yeah, it's funny.
I was like, oh wow, yeah. Seems like there's so much energy, and I
Definitely.
feel like the battles I feel like it's just so fun, and you guys are just up there, and it's just like it gets a little bit grimy and a little bit
Yeah, the coolest part
competitive.
about it is like you're not saying anything. You're just putting it into sound. You're putting it into rhythm. So like, I think rap battles are cool, but a lot of the time they're super disrespectful towards each other. But they know on stage that it's part of the show. But as the show, it's just disrespectful rapping. But with beatboxing, like, you can't really tell somebody that their mom is fat or something. Like, you can just beatbox, you know, nobody cares about that. You just gotta drop the dopest beat. So
Right.
I thought that was really cool about it too. That's why I got into it. Super friendly community. Everybody usually supports each other and like teaches each other new sounds and stuff.
That's so great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, I'm ready for another one.
Okay, this is using that sound, the lip roll.
This is so beyond a drum kit. I mean, there's
It's a lot of different things. It's communication through sound. It's another level of communication.
It is so impressive. I feel like I just have like a dropped jaw. It's like another level of impressive. It's crazy because you don't think about this being a whole community.
Yeah.
And then you know, obviously I start researching you and I'm like, this is huge. You have like 14 million views on some of your videos. I mean,
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
yeah, it's really, really awesome. And like, congratulations on getting
Thank you.
there.
Yeah, I definitely didn't come from a community of beatboxing. Living out in this part of the world, not much hip hop, so it introduced me to everything. You know, I learned so much just through going out there and trying to figure it out.
Right. So I want to talk a little bit about Swiss Beatbox. So if you go on YouTube and if you're I feel like, is YouTube one of the biggest platforms for showcasing and kind of exposure?
Probably the biggest, probably the best. Yeah, people make whole businesses on YouTube's now. So like you mentioned Swiss Beatbox, like they started in like 2005 or something like that in Switzerland, as you probably could have guessed. And the dude that started it, he was just like, beatboxing is crazy. I want to film it and show people on YouTube. And then through that, like everybody started catching on and watching his videos. And then fast forward to today, he like throws this battle, the Grand Beatbox Battle, and it's the most prestigious competition in the world. The best people go there. He has the catalog of like all the world beatboxers on his YouTube channel. Yeah, they're definitely the hub right now for anybody that wants to check out beatboxing.
Right. Your presence is so like prominent there, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're all over the videos and showcase and judging a lot of the competitions, and
Definitely.
it's just really in the life of your career. What do you feel is a couple of your greatest accomplishments and achievements?
Well, one thing I did with Swiss Beatbox I think we recorded it in 2018. I approached them about doing like a beatbox album, because they have like sound engineers and videographers that always work with beatboxers. So they said, yeah, let's do it. So I think it was in 2018 we recorded it, and maybe 2017, I don't remember. But that was like the first beatbox album that people like in this generation are doing. Like a couple beatboxers from the 80s did some albums, did some records, but like that was the first kind of thing that really set off, I don't know, beatboxers making albums again. And since then, a bunch of people have put out music. I think that was pretty cool. And it was all 100% beatboxing, which is kind of an acquired taste if you're going to listen to it 2 or 3 times, but it was still a cool project to get out there. And then I won the Grand Beatbox Battle once, which I mentioned was like pretty much like the World Championships. I've won a bunch of different battles. Yeah, those were all pretty cool accomplishments. But
So are those like, is it money? Like,
sometimes. It depends on the organization, because it's still like, you know, if you look at dancing, like break dancing, that's kind of a very similar thing. Like they have Red Bull championships, they have these Monster championships, all these different sponsorships. But with beatboxing, it's not to that level yet. Pretty sure it's going to get there because it's been growing exponentially. But like if that specific competition like doesn't have a good sponsor, which most don't at this point, you don't really win much from battling. It could be like $500 or something, but not like America's Got Talent. You win $1 million,
Yeah.
which would be nice. But I think at some point it's going to get to that point, whenever like sponsors start getting involved,
right.
which is going to happen because there's so many people that are into it, and that's what sponsorships want to do. They want people to look at their stuff.
Yeah, I mean, every single video has like over 1 million views. It's huge. It's huger than I would have ever imagined.
Yeah.
But I want to talk a little bit about the albums and like tracks. And so your first album, A Little Birdie told me that album was strictly just you, a microphone, and all the sounds are coming out of
Exactly.
your voice. And then you kind of evolved a little bit into looping.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about kind of the evolution of your albums and how many tracks are on each?
So I only have one album out now, and I'm working on more. Yeah, a lot of different beatboxers use the loop station now. That's kind of grown with beatboxing. And that's pretty much the art of like, if you have a machine in front of you, you can make a beat, and then you could record that beat, keep it playing over, and then you can have a couple tracks where you record different things, like different sounds or, you know, different harmonies with your voice or bass notes. And that's really useful for beatboxing because you can do everything as a one-man band. So a lot of different people are doing that now. Since my first album, I've definitely kind of branched from only solo beatboxing because, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, you can only take your mouth so far.
Yeah.
As far as I've taken it, I've done some crazy sounds, but you can only do so much. So I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate beatboxing into doing some of the craziest music that people have ever heard. Because at the end of the day, I'm just a musician that chose my mouth to produce sounds.
Right. So you tour.
Yeah, I've been around.
Been around.
Yeah, I mean, I've never like, when people say tour, like if I'm in another country, I'll say like, I'm on tour, but I don't necessarily like tour. I don't have a manager. I don't, you know, have a booking agent. Most of the stuff I do is all through myself or through the crew that I work with, the Beatbox House, and we'll work on, like, if we know we're going to another country for like a specific competition or we get booked for something, like we'll always try to book things in between, and we kind of self-manage everything. So you could say we tour, but it's not really like that. It's a lot of hustling.
A lot of hustling. But when you, like, say you're going to be somewhere, let's just say in, you know, Switzerland,
Yeah.
the people come.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great.
Yeah, we've done different workshops. Everywhere that we do a battle, we usually do like a workshop and just teach beatboxing. And usually a lot of people go to those. I've been teaching a lot the past couple of years too, just to make some extra cash. But that's a big part that, like, everything's being created for beatboxing now. There's no, you know, scene or backbone for it. So like me teaching beatboxing on Skype, like that's a new thing. You know, people never did that before. So now people are working on making like online beatbox schools and stuff like that. It's all kind of being created in the moment, which is exciting, but a little bit heart-wrenching too, because it's like there's no example to take it from.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm ready for another one.
Okay. This one is called Bass Electro.
Don't stop, bass electro. Never stop with the bass electro. Don't stop, bass electro. Never stop with the bass electro. Flop, bass electro. Don't flop with the bass electro. Flop, bass electro. Don't flop with the bass electro. Never stop with the bass electro. Don't stop. Bass electro. Never stop with the bass electro. Don't stop.
So, it's so good. It is so good. Neil, this was such an eye-opening experience for people like me who really just have not known much about the community that you're living in, the world that you're living in. And thank you so much for coming out and teaching us and showing us that this whole entire community exists.
Of course.
But we are in Boyce Park, and one of the main goals for why we come out to all of the Allegheny County 9 parks is to showcase the beauty of the spaces. But I do know that you have been here before.
I've been here a couple times, to the wave pool a few times with my mom and my sister. One time I came here and tried to snowboard for the first time, and it didn't go so well. Kept falling. It was one of the worst days of my life. But beautiful park still. I still had a great time.
Yeah, we have the wave pool, the ski slopes, beautiful meadows. Thank you so much for coming out. And if you want more information about anything going on with the Allegheny County Parks, go to www.alleghenycounty.us/parks, and you can find the information there. And where can our viewers find you?
All over the place. I got Instagram, which I use pretty often. I'm revamping my YouTube channel, making my own YouTube videos. So on Instagram, it's at NaPoM_official, but if you just search NaPoM, it should come up, NaPoM. And on YouTube, it's NaPoM Beatbox. I got a website, napalmbeatbox.com. And I got my album, Lips, on all music platforms, Apple Music, which I should be making more. I have an album coming out sometime soon, in the next 2 or 3 months. I'm not really sure. And yeah, I'm gonna be posting a lot of stuff pretty often.
Great.
Yeah.
We're so excited. Everyone reach out, go find NaPoM's videos and all of his music. It's the most incredible experience. And we'll see you next time on Parks Unplugged.